Hey everyone, good evening and welcome to the 2021 Doggy Olympics closing ceremony, the first of its kind. We're all very excited. I am here tonight with several special guests who were also instructors and judges during our Doggy Olympics, and I just want to introduce them here quickly to you, and they will be talking to you more about their event and their judging criteria and the winners that they chose throughout our presentation tonight. So I have Monica here from Barrington Barks and Behavior. I've got Delise from Sit, Stay, Smile Pet Photography. I have Laura from Misbehavior Training. And I have April from Canine Strong. Welcome, you guys. Thanks so much for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having us.
It has been quite a labor of love. We were just talking before going live tonight. This was quite an undertaking. The feedback from participants has been amazing, but I think it's important for people to know that this was no small undertaking, and in no way could the New Hampshire Dog Walking Club have done this without the partnership of everybody involved in a number of different ways, whether it was a hosting site, being an instructor, and coming up with a fun event, judging, doing photography. There are so many things that these people have done for us, and we just have a sampling of our partners here with us now, and we're going to let you know about all the other ones that were instrumental in this as well. So what we want to do is hop into the closing ceremony tonight, and our goal is to give you a recap of all the fun events that happened and let you know the winners tonight. And then finally, we will reveal the bronze, silver, and gold medal winners. So if you guys are all ready, we'll get into it. All right. So let's see. Oh, and I have to just point out this picture here. So cute. Lucy Laverto, who's sitting here in front of the Doggy Olympics sign at the bubble catching game. She just had the biggest smile on her face, and I absolutely loved it. So I thought that was perfect for the front picture here. All right, let's see. So here's a recap of some of the best photos, just to give you a sense of the fun that the dogs had. And you'll see some of these photos again as we go through here. But it was just such a fun time for people and their dogs. Some of the things that we witnessed, and I think you guys would echo this as well, is there was just some really awesome bonding and relationship building that happened between the handlers and the dogs. I think primarily because a lot of this was new activities and events that they were trying, and they found that their dogs really enjoyed it. So when their dog is happy, they're happy. Would you guys agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, so you can see there's a lot of dogs here with smiles on their faces. So let's talk a little bit about what the spirit of the Doggy Olympics is, because really it was more than winning. And when the partners and I were talking prior to even rolling this out, it was, all of us agreed we wanted this to be focused on a number of different things. We wanted it to be inclusive of all types of dogs, regardless of breed or size or temperament or ability. And we wanted it to be more than just about physical competition. We wanted it to be about mental enrichment as well. So really it was about having fun with your dog, which I think the photos that you'll see in tonight's presentation really represent that. It was learning and trying something new, which based on the feedback we've already received from participants, we know we have accomplished that. It was a special bonding experience, as you can see as an example here in this photo from Jane Windsor and Acadia. And if I had to guess, I think that Jane is whispering some kind of special strategy into Acadia's ear before she's, dock diving here. But I just love this photo. And this one is really representative of so many photos that were taken by the many judges and participants of just the bonding experience we saw. It was really, really cool. And obviously there was an enjoyment of the activities that is seen in the photos as well. And it also gave an opportunity for the owners and the dogs to improve skills and expand their interests, because there was a whole lot of new things that we threw out there for ideas. And again, with the feedback, people saying, I've never tried this before. I wasn't sure my dog could do this. And now they do this, separate of the Doggy Olympics. Now that they learned it, they're so excited they keep doing it. So that's awesome to hear as well. So again, it takes a village to run something like this. It included instructors, judges, host sites, photographers, and the participants, obviously. So we are very grateful for the support of our amazing partners, members, and community. And, even after this was wrapping up, there's been several people who have come to me who are members of our community saying, I'd love to be a volunteer for this effort next year or whenever you offer it again. If you need help, I could run an event, I could take pictures, I could judge. So people are already coming out offering their help just because they really enjoyed this and they want to be a part of it in the future. So that's great for us to hear. And give me just a second because I'm trying to manage everything behind here. Okay, so Laura, you're saying you're getting an echo from me?
Not from you. I was just suggesting that maybe everybody else wants to mute, just unless we're not talking, because there was a little bit of an echo.
Yeah, actually, I can kind of hear something too. So yeah, I guess if you guys aren't talking, you should probably mute. That's a good idea, just because there's so many of us. And let's just see here. We've got a couple comments. Let's just throw some things up here. Alina's saying hi. She was in the competition with Liam. Let's see. Ray is saying hello. Michelle's saying hi. We are excited too. We thank you so much for making the Olympics possible. You are very welcome. And Alina saying hi again. So thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to, give us a thumbs up, give us a heart. Let us know what you thought about the Doggy Olympics. This is, your feedback is what makes it possible for all of us to get motivated to do this again, because as I mentioned, it was a huge undertaking, but we know how much fun you all had, and we will be sending surveys out to get your additional feedback as well. So we appreciate all of that. Okay, so like I said, it takes a village, and here are all the people that made this possible. So we had Seacoast Dogs, You and Your Dog Training and Services, Misbehavior Training, Canine Strong, Barrington Barks and Behavior, Jody Crotty, Pet Supplies Plus, Friendly Pets, Sit Stay Smile Pet Photography, Sandra McCarthy Photography, Canine Chaos, The Mall at Fox Run, New Hampshire Dog Walking Club, and of course our guest judges who volunteered their time, Dr. Lisa Boyer of Animal Health Consultants, Kelly Gamache of Mary's Dogs, and Lou Norman of Mary's Dogs. And again, we could not have made this possible without them. So we were very thankful for everything they did to make this first annual Doggy Olympics a success. So just kind of a quick recap. We had 22 canine competitors. We offered 5 physical activities, 6 mental activities. We had 14 towns and cities represented, which was kind of fun to see. 2 states, which was New Hampshire and Massachusetts. Nobody from Maine, which was interesting. And we had 15 event locations throughout New Hampshire, just trying to give everybody many different places where they could go to be part of the fun, depending on where they were located. Let's see. Jane says, thanks for all you do and the support for both the dogs and humans during the events. Thanks for that, Jane. And Jamie says, Cody and Charlie had a blast. Awesome. So glad to hear it. All right. So there's a little bit of statistics for you. So let's go into the highlights now on the events. And as we're going through this too, if you guys have any questions, thoughts, ideas, we'd love to hear from you as we're going through. So first up was dock diving, and we were fortunate to have Sandra McCarthy and her photography skills join us on one of the nights. So you can see that part of the photos here are from her. And again, I just love how all of these photos tell a story, whether it's the dog is learning how to jump off the dock, or the owner and the dog are having a, intimate conversation, getting instruction, getting in skill, getting a pep talk, whatever it is. Toy retrieval in the pool, enjoying swimming. It's just so fun to see. And again, all the dogs have smiles on their face, which is what I absolutely love. So we appreciate all that Seacoast Dogs did to help us get this off the ground as well. One of our other physical events was You and Your Dog Training and Services offered water fun competition. And if anybody knows Obi, the little ham that he is, he loves pools. And you can see here, he's lounging with the little toys in the pool, just enjoying himself. But this was made up of a couple different types of games with water. The competitors had a great time. We appreciate all that Ashley and Christine did to pull this off for us and getting us these great photos so that we could show how much fun the dogs had. Next, we had doggy games with misbehavior, which was offered on 2 nights. You can see one here was outdoors and one was indoors because that night was very, very hot. But Laura, do you want to talk a little bit about all the fun we had on that night?
Yes, sorry. I had to unmute myself now. Okay. So the first night we were having a thunderstorm actually, and it was like monsooning. So we were inside and that was really fun. It was a little, I think we had, I think 6 dogs that night maybe. So it was a full room and I think everybody really enjoyed it. It was funny in the beginning. The first couple of games were about pulling stuff out of, like putting stuff in the dog's mouth. One game was pulling those balls that you can see out of the pool. So they had to put these different textured balls in their mouth. And then the next one after that was basically picking up like pieces of recycling, pieces of trash, like water bottles and pieces of cardboard, stuff like that. And I swear all the dogs, just the look you could see on their face, it was as if they're like, Mom says I'm not supposed to put things like this in my mouth, so I can't do it. So they definitely, especially the first night that I did it, pretty much all of the dogs were like, "No, I can't do that." But then they got into the games once we got into the obstacle course, the relay race, and red light, green light, stuff like that. But the second night, there were some different dogs there, and there were definitely a few more who were very willing to put stuff in their mouth and got really into it. So that was really fun. So yeah, all the games were super fun, and there were a couple dogs that came to both nights, so clearly they enjoyed it, and it was fun to actually see how much they improved just between the first night and that second night that they were there too. So that was really cool.
Well, and Laura, can you explain that photo to the left of your logo? I see that Lila is eyeing that piece of bread on the plate. Can you explain that?
Yes. Yeah. So that was part of our relay race. And so basically they had to do some different manners. Like they had to sit in the beginning. They had to do wait while you put food down. They had to wait while they went through a fake doorway. And then in that particular instance, they had to do a leave it. And it was a piece of, the first night I used a piece of bread, like a loaf of bread piece. And then the second night, that's a hot dog roll piece of bread. Cause I figured, if the dogs are going to grab it, it's not, number one, it's not super rewarding for them to grab because it's bread, although some dogs would argue that point. And also it's, it's not dangerous or anything like that. So, but it was funny because at the first night, everybody did the relay race. Everybody did awesome. We had these great leave-its and everything. And then I'm trying to remember who it was now. Do you guys remember who grabbed the bread right afterwards? But basically we had turned our back for like 2 seconds to wrap up the game. And then one of the dogs just like grabbed the bread and ran.
Yeah, that was the first night. Yeah.
Yes. And had the entire loaf of bread, that piece of bread in her mouth, and was just holding it. Like, I don't think I was supposed to do this, but I just got the jackpot, guys.
That's right.
So it was really fun. So that's basically what that was. It was a leave it. And then to finish the relay.
I agree. And that was very cool with the bread.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to mention too, Austin Tucker, who's pictured in the bottom left with their dog, Indy. I remember Indy didn't pick up too much stuff that night, but then Austin posted a video a couple days later because they decided to go and train Indy how to do this, like kind of preparation for the next doggy games. And Indy picked up everything. I mean, the video was so cool. And then, Austin also owns Galaxy, and they did the same thing with, Galaxy doesn't really catch treats, and you'll see this in the treat toss, yet they posted a video today showing Galaxy now catching treats because there's that ongoing want to continue this fun activity that they've done with their dog. And I love to see that continuing, that bonding, that relationship, that fun enrichment activity. So that's very cool.
Yeah. One other thing I'll mention about that too is Austin had gone home and, worked and all that, and then came back to the second night with Indy and wanted to use more of her shaping techniques, just getting the dog used to like, can I try these different techniques to see if she'll pick this up? And that night, I think it was a little stressful because there was a lot going on and all that. So she didn't really want to do it as everybody was watching her that night. But I thought it was awesome that like Austin went home and made a plan for Indy to try, some new techniques and some new stuff. And you could tell that she wanted to, but then she's like, nah, everybody's watching me. I'm not going to do it tonight. So I'll do it at home again. So she's working up to that. So it was awesome.
Well, Austin says Indy already knew how to do that, but turns out she has a neck injury. So I'm guessing that was why she wasn't so into it at the games. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting because that video that Austin posted a couple days later showed Indy really working it. So maybe she was just feeling a little bit better. So
yeah, that does make sense. Yep.
Well, Doggy Games was definitely well received. We had a lot of people that signed up for Doggy Games.
Mm.
So next we had the Canine Fitness Challenge with Canine Strong at their new facility here in Concord. And April, do you want to talk a little bit about what the dogs did here?
Hold on.
Oh, there, you with us?
All right, can you hear me?
We can.
Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. Just let me know if I'm garbled and I can shut the video off.
Okay.
Okay. So the Canine Fitness Challenge had actually 5 different challenges. And it was, as you can see by the pictures, I think probably everything is represented. The first challenge was front paws up. The second challenge was all 4 paws up. The third challenge was limbo. The fourth challenge was high jump. And then the fifth challenge was the obstacle course. So basically, what each team had to do was to take on those challenges and communicate, like work with their dog and learning how to communicate with each other so that the dogs would, number one, know what the person was asking them to do and actually recognize it by a cue. So a lot of the people that came in, some of them did have cues already for things that they had been doing with their dog, but some of them did not. So the first part of the challenge was all on the human because they needed to come up with a word or 2 words that would tell the dog what it is that they wanted to do and then teach them how to actually translate from word to body experience. And so that actually took a whole lot. It was kind of funny to work with the humans because they were the ones that took the longer time trying to remember what they were supposed to say to their dog. And so, so basically the first part of all of the challenges was getting the human to pick those words, teach the dog the cue, and then get them to actually translate it into a physical activity. And so the idea behind it, so, I mean, really for the Olympics, it was just all about fun and bonding. And there was, like you said, Tracy, there was so much bonding going on. I loved it. It's so heartwarming to see. And to hear people saying that they never believed that their dog was going to do the things that I was asking them to do, and then find out that their dog was doing it not only willingly, but in some cases, after everything was said and done, they were going back for more. And so it was really great. So the bonding was definitely it. The canine fitness aspect of it, if we wanted to take the fitness and physical part for the Olympics, was about strength and conditioning and body awareness. But everybody, I'm amazed. There wasn't a single dog that came to me that was not able to accomplish every one of the challenges, and actually within that short amount of time, learn how to communicate with their owner with those cues.
Well, and Michelle says, this was a great challenge for Brutus. He normally doesn't like putting his paws on things that move, but he did great. What did you notice about Brutus?
Actually, I noticed more about Michelle than I did about Brutus. She kind of gave us a heads up and warned us that he was going to be standoffish and he might be really like sort of mouthy and, kind of just not really settle. And he was like a complete gentleman, so smart. And I feel like, once she figured out that he was going to settle into paying attention to her and nothing else that was going on around him, and then they started working together, she settled. But like you could see her nerves just sort of unravel and everything was okay. And he did amazing. They did amazing. That was a really great, strong team because he's so smart. And he did everything that she asked him to do.
Yeah. See, I love that. What a great bonding experience, and what a way for Michelle to learn really what her dog is capable of.
Yeah.
Well, and I know too, Jane is saying that Obi was hurt that night. He was kind of playing through his pain. I know that Lorianne didn't realize it at that point. She has since posted in the group, and we know that he had an abscess on his toe and he is now healing. But yes, he was such a trooper. It's so hard to tell sometimes when dogs are in pain because they're just so resilient.
Yeah, and she did. She kind of came in and did give us at that point she knew there was something up with his foot, but she didn't know what it was, and we couldn't really see anything. He wouldn't let us touch it for obvious reasons now. But I think what was great about that for her was learning how to recognize his body language and knowing when he was saying that he had enough, because Obi's just going to keep right on going. And so she had to learn how to recognize what he was saying. And there were certain of the events, she did them all, but we just made it that she didn't have to do it, over and over again. She just had to do it the one time. Once they accomplished it, he did what he needed to do, and her Olympic challenges were met. But yeah, learning the body language and him saying when he had enough was a great opportunity for her.
Yeah, that's really key that you notice that. I think that's so important because a lot of times people might not notice that with their dogs because either they're so treat driven or they're having so much fun, they're working through the pain. But if you're really in tune with your dog, then you're going to notice those things. So kudos to Lorianne. And I know he's now recuperating, which is good.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. So that was the Canine Fitness Challenge. And then we had bubble catching with the Dog Walking Club. And you can see here the dogs are enjoying some tasty bubbles thanks to my friends at Sit, Stay, Smile Pet Photography and their insight on tasty bubbles. I'll have you know, Delise, that we tried, it was roasted chicken and sizzling steak.
Oh my goodness.
And the dogs pretty evenly liked the different tastes. So.
Good to know.
So we had two bubble machines going. One had chicken, one had steak. The dogs kind of just wandered around. They didn't really know or understand what these weird, bubbly things were coming out of these machines. But what I thought was great was there were several owners that really picked up on that, and they started reinforcing their dogs going near the machine and would, reward them with a treat and tell them yes when they would get near or do, a part of the activity that was essentially expected. So it was really neat to see them pick up on that. Karen Laverto in the top right corner with the black dog Lucy was one of those people who really saw that. Lucy was a little hesitant, but was great at reinforcing positively with treats to get her into that experience. So we had fun. I love this picture in the upper right-hand corner here. Lucy, who was the puppy, she just had so much energy, and it was so hot, and she was tired, and she just plopped out in front of the Doggy Olympics sign. It really was a perfect photo. So that was a fun night. We had a lot of fun with the bubbles. And then next we had a sensory explorers experience with Barrington Barks and Behavior. And that was on 2 nights as well. The first night was at Canine Chaos, and the second night was at the mall at Fox Run. Monica, do you want to speak a little about that exercise with dogs?
I'd love to. There are so many wonderful things that can occur when a dog and their human caregiver participate in this kind of activity. And I'll just try to name a few, but there are too many to go through all of them. This really gave these human dog teams a chance to allow the dog exploration without the human having to micromanage, without the human caregiver having to worry about leash skills. It's a learning opportunity, seeing what their dogs might be interested in, might be a little hesitant with. And because this is dog-led, there's no pressure from the human to get this done. And being humans, we are very goal-oriented. And I think more time spent giving our dogs agency and some control over their outcomes and over their actions can really be beneficial to both human and dog. The dogs kind of uniformly had those beautiful smiling leashes that I love, where there's a nice big smile in the leash. My human participants, although for some of them this was their first experience, they just beautifully followed their dogs and allowed that exploration. And I just saw dogs being dogs, which is gorgeous. When you think that our dogs really are captive animals, even though it's in a kind way, the more that we can allow them to be dogs, the happier, more settled, more calm the dogs are. And then, of course, if you're living with the dog who is more fulfilled, more enriched, your life is easier too, and it's better.
Yeah, and I know this was a favorite activity, and I'm just curious, Monica, what were your thoughts doing this at Canine Chaos versus the mall? Because I know you had a little bit of traffic and some people stopping and wondering what was going on, right?
Yeah, a little different atmosphere, and certainly, for some dogs, never going into a mall, it's got this huge high ceiling, a huge open space. For some, there might have been a few glances to see what was going on, but myself and Kayla, your assistant, or my assistant for that night, we were pretty on the fence. So there was one little boy that was just adorable, came up and wanted to stand right at the fence. And we just ran a little interference and talked to him about body language. And, because the dogs were engaged in this exploration, using their noses, using all of their senses, that has the effect of bringing arousal down. So in an environment that could be really overwhelming, where the dogs had a focus, they were calmer than you might have expected. And of course, it was lovely to be at Canine Chaos. We were a little bit bigger group there, but still plenty of room. And they really seemed to enjoy it. So, and
Interesting.
I just love watching, the person looking at their dog and just following their dog, and look, he likes that, or this is what he feels about this. I just love that. Yeah.
Well, it's so interesting too, because I wasn't sure, since I wasn't at the one at the mall, Kaylee was, but I wasn't sure if the dogs would act differently because of the periphery distractions. But it sounds like they were still pretty well engaged regardless.
Mm-hmm. I would say very well engaged. Like I said, it's a different environment, so they might have been a little more in tune to what was going on around them, but not enough to stop their explorations or to lessen the experience in any way.
Good to know. All right. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Awesome. All right. So let's see. Our next event was the howling contest with Jody Crotty. And so you can see here that a couple people are trying to connect in with their dogs. There was some singing activities. There was a sing along. And then there was an activity that Jody did where you had to try to get your dog not to sing, but you had to do weird, funny things and jump around and have a lot of energy, but hope that your dog was not going to make a noise. So it was really well planned out, a lot of fun. We had, I think, Ranger here in the bottom right with his owner, Jerry, did some great howling. Liam up in the top there with Alina and Chris did more barking. And Obi, again, Obi was a little bit down and out with his foot. So, he may not have been feeling too well because he's on the mend, but he did chime in as well. But I have to tell you what the greatest thing was, and I actually posted a live video on the day that we did this, was the singing of the owners with their dogs, each for 30 seconds. It was adorable. People were so connected in with their dogs. They had a song all planned out, and it was just really, really fun to see them having fun with their dogs. They might have been a little nervous, but they didn't care. It's their time with their dog, and they were willing, to allow me to go live with them singing with their dog. So I love that. That was a fun day. And we thank Kelly Gamache, who was there that day as well, doing judging.
I saw that video and it was hilarious. It was awesome seeing everybody sing with their dog and try to howl or whatever.
I think there was a little bit of confusion on this event too, because people thought, oh, my dog doesn't howl, so I can't do that event. But in the description we had, if your dog howls, barks, speaks, makes any kind of noise, this is the perfect event for you. And after seeing how Jody ran it, it really was. No matter what kind of noise your dog makes, this is really a fun event to be involved with them doing this. So we thank Jody for running that. Oh, Lorianne says she didn't see the video. So Lorianne, yeah, I think you'd have to scroll down a little bit, but I did go live on that day. So just look for the date in the timeline in the Facebook group and you'll see it. Let's see a comment. I loved watching the howling contest live. That was awesome. Cool. Thank you for that. We are having so much fun incorporating the dog-led exploration into our hikes with Rocky, and he is showing us that he loves climbing, bouncing, jumping, etc. So cool to see him bringing some of the fun he had at K9 Strong into the outside world. I agree. Oh, okay, great. And Lori's going to go see that video. Yeah, you'll like it, Lori. It was really cute. All right, so let's move on to our next event here, which was the ice cream eating contest. This was the first one. This was, well, actually, we held this in 2 locations. The first one was Cow Palace Creamery in Epping, and the second was the Pink House in Milton. And this was a really fun event. We actually had the union leader come out for the second event, which was held in Milton. But we had overall, I think we had about 10 competitors for this one. All dogs finished their ice cream. It was interesting, though. Ranger, who you see here, top middle, the husky, was so cute. So he didn't really like the pup cup that he had the first time around. It was a little frozen. It was a little hard. But interestingly, his owner, Jerry, knew that his favorite ice cream was strawberry. So when Ranger would not eat the pup cup, he went right over, got him strawberry ice cream, and Ranger ate the whole thing. It was the cutest thing. So I just love those stories within the competitions that occurred. But we had some dogs that really savored their ice cream. We had dogs that licked their ice cream cup. I mean, super clean. So clean they probably could have reused it again because there wasn't a drop in it. But that was a really fun event to watch. So that is something we'll definitely do in the future there, maybe even separate of the Olympics. Let's see. Jamie is asking, do you know when it will be in the paper? Jamie, it might actually be today because the editor told me her deadline was 4 o'clock today, and they wanted the link for where the broadcast would be on YouTube. So I'm going to actually do some searching tonight and tomorrow, and when I do find that, I will post it, and I assume Allegra will probably send me the link as well. So I'll let you know when I find that. And then Ray says, Ranger shared some with Acadia. Yes. I remember that Ranger gave some of his strawberry ice cream to Acadia, which was so sweet. These little pink polka dotted cups, you know, these macho dogs licking out of them. It was so adorable. All right. So now the last competition we had, well, actually, there's 2 competitions that aren't mentioned here because we didn't have pictures. One is the longest sit-stay competition, and one is the longest tail. And those each took place at Pet Supplies Plus and Friendly Pets. So we appreciate what they did for that. Unfortunately, we don't have any pictures to show for that, but obviously we do have winners for those events that we will highlight. The Treat Toss Challenge was another favorite with Sit, Stay, Smile Pet Photography. And here you're seeing some of the final pictures of the dogs actually catching either a stuffy or a piece of cheese. But what I really love too is the kind of the behind the scenes photo. You've got Brutus here on the bottom left. You've got Rocky, I think, looking for the cheese maybe that he didn't catch. And then Lila and Indy. Do you want to talk a little bit about this event, Delise?
Oh my gosh, we had so much fun. 11 dogs that came through over a couple of nights. And who's the gentleman or gal here with the squirrels? I can't remember the name.
Oh, Cody with the stuffies?
Cody, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So Cody brought his own toys because apparently he doesn't love cheese, but he loves these squirrels. So he was hilarious with that. So yeah, Greg was throwing him a couple squirrels at a time, and we got this awesome shot with both squirrels in the air. But most of them ate cheese and just had a blast. And yeah, that shot of Rocky. So Rocky was not as skilled as some of the others when it came to catching the treats. He was super adorable. And then we had, let's see, who's down here on the bottom right?
That's Indy.
Indy, yes. Indy was a rock star for sure. He was really good. Brutus was a great catcher. Yeah, they did an amazing job. And again, you know, Greg is throwing these treats to them, a guy they've never met, and they all did amazingly well. As soon as they discovered, most of them, that it was cheese, which apparently most of them loved, they were in. They were all in. So, yeah, the focus, I mean, look at Lila's face. She's just locked on to Greg.
I love it.
So funny. And then, you know, even Brutus, he was fine catching treats from Greg. He was completely relaxed. It was awesome. So we just had a great time. And then Galaxy, who's not represented here, I think you mentioned earlier, I saw that post from Austin saying that Galaxy now knows how to catch treats.
Yep.
I let Austin know that we're actually doing a Catch-a-Palooza event at Canine Chaos in September. So she can come and you know, catch treats then, and we'll get
absolutely.
So yeah, it was super fun. Had a great time.
Delise, if any of the competitors want to get some of the professional photos that were taken, what should they do?
Well, I know there was a link posted, right, Tracy?
Yep, in the group, yep.
Right. So the link, they basically just go out to that link. The gallery is posted, and you just download. I think it's $10 for a different. Sorry, this is Greg's arena, and he's not around right now. But I believe it's $10 per shot, and that goes 100% towards your charity partners. And then additionally, if there are any shots that you're like, wow, I really want a larger version of that, just reach out to us directly and we can talk about that. And 20% of any purchase will go to the charity partners as well.
And I remember when you guys did Dakota, it was kind of like a before, during, and an after shot of the process. It is so precious. I just love the expressions they have. We did it for Dakota. She loves cheese, but then there was Gilly, who was afraid of cheese. And so there's a picture of her with cheese going by and her looking at it like, oh my God, what is that? So Greg does a great job of catching these dogs' fears and emotions and, you know, their happiness on his camera. So yeah, these if you didn't compete in this and you just want to see all the great photos, look for the post in the group and just check out the gallery to see photos. Are a lot of fun.
Tracy,
So,
you're starting to kind of fade in and out a bit.
Oh, am I? Oh, okay. I don't think anything has changed here.
There's a little bit of a lag there for a bit.
All right, so
maybe it's on my end. I don't know.
Yeah, if anybody's having any problems hearing any of us, or if anybody's not clear, just chime in, please, so we can do something to adjust if we're able to. But Jamie said Cody couldn't figure out why this strange man was throwing his tiny babies at him. Isn't that adorable? Oh my goodness. But Cody did a great job catching them regardless, so he wasn't going to let his tiny babies be lost.
It was so precious when you walked in with those, Jamie. I was dying. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. He's clearly all about those little babies.
Well, Lorianne says, Obi didn't catch well at all before this. And Austin says, Galaxy will put it on her calendar. Okay, Catch-a-Palooza. What day is Catch-a-Palooza?
It's going to be September 19th at K9 Chaos from 10 to 2.
All right, Indy, put it, Galaxy, put it on your calendar.
Yeah, we'll be posting that on all our social media here pretty soon.
Good. And Ray says, don't pick on Miss Gilly. Hey, she's afraid of the cheese, Ray. Deal with it. Oh, my goodness. All right. So that is a recap of our event. So now, drum roll, let's talk about the event winners. Okay. So Alina's saying the video stalled for 30 seconds a couple of minutes ago. Okay. So it looks like we're back and we're good, though. So thanks for giving me a heads up on that, guys. All right. So the first event winner is... Dock diving was Jamie and Charlie. So Charlie nailed this. He did a great, great job. And this is an awesome picture done by, I'm pretty sure Sandra did this one. I know Ray took a few, but I don't think he was there the night Charlie went. So this is done by Sandra McCarthy Photography. She does a great job capturing dogs in action. And I know that she is also selling the pictures that she took of competitors on the night she was there and also giving the proceeds to the Charitable Partners Program. And again, I did post that in the group like I did for Sit, Stay, Smile Pet Photography as well, if you would love these action shots of your dogs. So congratulations to Jamie and Charlie. Our next event was the Water Fun Competition, and that was Michelle and Brutus, who did a fantastic job there. And I know I heard feedback from Michelle that they had a lot of fun. So way to go, Brutus, getting out of your comfort zone there and just taking charge and having a good time playing with the water games. Next, we had the doggy games. We had two winners. We had Austin and Galaxy and Lori Ann and Obi, who tied for this event. So congratulations to both of them. Next, we had the Canine Fitness Challenge, which was won by Austin and Galaxy. You can see here that Galaxy is a very agile dog. Did great on the different pieces of equipment that you have there, April. Just a lot of fun. So congratulations to Austin and Galaxy. Next, we had the bubble catching game, which was won by Austin and Galaxy as well. Galaxy was very engaged with the bubbles at first, didn't really know what they were about, but was quick to get herself involved with it thanks to Austin's coaxing. And she had a lot of fun with that. And Austin actually captured a fantastic video, which they posted. We didn't actually capture the same video, but it's a really, really fun video of Galaxy actually eating the bubbles and capturing them and engaging with the game. It was a lot of fun to see. So congratulations to them. Next, we have the Sensory Explorers, which was won by Austin and Indy. And this is a picture of the one that was done at Canine Chaos. This is one of the snuffle mats that Monica has in her Sensory Explorers. And they just did a fantastic job. It's just a great activity that Indy really enjoyed. And congratulations to both of them. Next, we had the howling contest, which was won also by 2 dogs and their owners. The first was Jerry and Ranger. Ranger did a fantastic job howling. And Alina and Liam. Liam didn't do howling, but he did some great barking. And Alina was singing along with him, and that was really fun to see. So great bonding experience there for them. And I highly encourage you guys to look up that video, and not to put Jerry on the spot here, but I love his song with Ranger. It is just the cutest thing. You guys have got to watch it. It's just so much fun to see them bonding in that way. So congratulations to them. Next, we had the ice cream eating contest, and this was hands down Charlie the entire way. And I just have to add a little caveat here. So at the first place we went to, Cow Palace Creamery, the ice cream consistency was a little different. It was softer. It was quicker to eat. At the Pink House, they ran out of pup cups, which was frozen like peanut butter flavored ice cream. And so 2 competitors had a softer, like vanilla soft serve. But Charlie, he was a force to be reckoned with. He took that frozen peanut butter ice cream and he just went to town on it. And I think it was, maybe even 30 seconds or more after Charlie was done that someone with the soft ice cream finished. So hands down, Charlie wins the ice cream eating contest. And it was obvious that he enjoyed it. Cody, his other doggy friend, was busy savoring his. And I think Cody finished last, but I'm telling you, Cody absolutely loved and savored his ice cream. So congratulations to Jamie and Charlie. Next, we have the longest tail competition, which was won by Jerry and Ranger by quite a bit. Huskies have quite a long tail. So congratulations to them. And thanks to Pet Supplies Plus and Friendly Pets for having several nights and afternoons available for people to come in and get their dogs' tails measured. And then Pet Supplies Plus and Friendly Pets also hosted the longest sit-stay competition, which was won by Alina and Liam. And he roasted the competition on this one. He went over 2 minutes on this one, and which surprises me with all the periphery distractions inside of a pet store. But he was a boss on this one, and he did a fantastic job. And so he sweeps the competition on the longest sit-stay. So congratulations there. And then finally, the Treat Toss Challenge was won by April and Lila. And you can see here Lila warming up. She's got that great expression, those floppy ears. She's absolutely enjoying the strange man behind the cameras throwing cheese at her. So that was very, very cool. So congratulations to all of our winners. That was amazing. Everybody did fantastic. So let's talk about some recognition awards. You can see here that I'm really stretching out this bronze, silver, and gold because I want you guys to be chomping at the bit who the winner is. I know there's already people hedging some bets on who it might be. So let's go over some really key recognition awards here. So, this was an effort here that was done by all of the partners based on what we saw with these dogs being multiple competitors and different things. Just overall, we saw some really amazing things that we want to talk about. So the first is the Super Trooper Award, which goes to Obi and Lori Ann. Poor Obi playing through his injuries. He was just super trooper. He was hanging in there. You guys want to talk at all about what you saw? I know, April, you were, I guess that was when they first noticed that his foot wasn't feeling well. What did you see there?
So I think that was the first night of her noticing and doing events, which unfortunately it was my event, which is a whole lot of having to be on your feet and doing a lot of movements. I kind of joked and I was like, well, he is Obi-Wan and he did fitness by the Force, because he wasn't really all there and he wasn't like physically, but he pushed through. He did what he had to do. You know, we could clearly see that there was a little bit of discomfort, but he was like, I'm not backing off. I'm going to do this challenge and I'm getting through all 5 of them. And he did amazing. But again, like I said with Lorianne, she did a really great job of recognizing when he needed to have a little bit of a break, or when we needed to just say, okay, we're calling it. He's done everything at least once. You know, he did what he accomplished the task, and he just was a super trooper, like you said, all the way through.
Yep, I agree. So we want to pay special recognition to him. We also want to recognize the Cleanest Ice Cream Cup Award, which went to Shadow. Wonderful, friendly greyhound. Shadow wasted no ice cream at all. Like I mentioned, that cup was clean and could have gone back to have been reused. He very much enjoyed his ice cream, and so he gets the Cleanest Ice Cream Cup Award. And then Galaxy excelled in many events. The combination of Galaxy and Austin together is just a very great owner dog bonding experience. You can tell they've been working together, they've been training together, they have such a great relationship. But anything that you want to mention again, April, since this was taken at the Canine Fitness Challenge?
So when you and I were talking about recognition and whatnot, I basically called her tiny but fierce. There was nothing that she wasn't going to try. And, you know, she's so lightweight and so agile that it made it easy for her to just be really confident with, you know, the body awareness and having that sense of, you know, just really feeling like she had this, like any piece of equipment that she was on. She's like a little mountain goat. I mean, you just couldn't stop her. So it was a lot of fun to watch. And yes, I agree. The really interesting thing, the observation I want to make about that particular team is that Austin barely used any words. It was like they were just communicating physically. There was hand signaling, but if it wasn't hand signaling, it was Austin was just Galaxy's body was, you know, going to do something and it wasn't quite in the right direction, and Austin just immediately with her own body was just like steering them in the right direction. And it was so amazing that so few words were spoken, and yet that really was the connection that was almost the strongest, and the cues were just dead on. It was amazing.
Yeah, we probably should mention that Austin is a certified dog trainer. They don't do it as, you know, a profession, but there's definitely some skill set there, and they've been working, you know, a long time with their dogs. They love it. The dogs love it. There's just such a great relationship there. But I love what you said, April. The mountain goat, the Basenji mountain goat. I think that's
Yes.
very key.
Yeah, for sure.
So there are 3 awards we want to give away there. Also, we want to recognize the Courage Award, which goes to Michelle and Brutus. And does anybody want to speak to this at all? I know you guys all kind of chimed in on this. Monica, what do you want to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to say Michelle and Brutus are an incredibly special partnership and team. They've had some struggles because Brutus can be a very sensitive type of soul, and I know that it can be heartbreaking at times when the dog that you're sharing your life with struggles, and it can feel isolating and kind of you know, hopeless at times. But Michelle is extremely dedicated to wanting to help Brutus overcome his worries and sensitivities, and despite maybe a bit of her own anxiety about going into a new place, she does it for her dog. And I absolutely love that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And that was seen by so many people. You know, Michelle, kudos to you for just stepping out of your comfort zone. You know, I know that you reached out saying my dog is reactive. I'll leave this event if, you know, if he reacts, if he's not having a good time, you know, so thank you so much for allowing him to have this experience and allowing yourself to have this great opportunity to really get to know him better and what he enjoys and bond with him. So kudos to both of you. So, and what about the altruism award, Monica? Because I know you brought that to our attention as well. This is a picture of Rocky at the mall. Do you want to mention what that award is about?
Absolutely. This warmed the cockles of my heart. I'm telling you. When I did the event at the mall, there were several participants to start. Michelle and Brutus came in, and then Terry and
And Aaron and Rocky.
And the second that Terry saw that Michelle was a bit worried and Rocky was barking, she couldn't step aside fast enough to support Michelle and encourage her to just go ahead, go first, take our spot. To me, that's the epitome of just helping your fellow human and your fellow dogs. And I absolutely adored that. It was just, it might not have looked like a huge thing, but it was huge. It was huge for Michelle and Brutus, and it was huge to those of us who witnessed it. So I can't thank Terry enough for doing that.
Yeah, and I appreciate you, Monica, picking up on that. I think that's just such a key observation of what the spirit of the Doggy Olympics is. So I'm glad that you brought that to our attention. So congratulations, Terry, Aaron, and Rocky. You guys are an awesome team. You rock it. I wanted to give the special bond award to Jerry and Ranger, Jane and Acadia, and Lori Ann and Obie. And this is primarily because of what I saw in pictures, what I saw in videos, what I saw in person. I mean, there's just, you can't make this stuff up. You know if an owner has a genuine connection with their pet. And I'm not saying that the other competitors didn't, but the bonds I saw between these three competitors specifically was just wonderful, and it was heartwarming, and I just really wanted to draw attention to them. So congratulations to the three of you. Next we have the Spirit Award, which goes to Lori Ann and Obie, and I just love this picture that Sandra McCarthy took. It's funny. I was talking to Lori Ann. I'm like, maybe if you jump in the pool, Obie will go too. That was, because he had tried it a little bit. He'll go down the ramp. He'll go swim around. He'll get his toy. But I'm like, Lori Ann, you got to do it, because if he sees you do it, then he'll do it. Well, she did it, and he didn't do it. But she was such a trooper. She had such great spirit to just put herself out there and try these new things with him. It was just amazing to see. So congratulations, Lori Ann and Obie. And no, you don't look ridiculous. You look like you're having an awesome time. And I remember that night was so stinking hot. So I'm envious of you getting to swim in the pool, because I was in New York and it was stinky and it was hot. So that was awesome. The Speak Up Award. Now, Laura, I think you and I talked about this too. Do you want to kind of talk to why this award is important and why Austin and Indy earn it?
Yeah, so during the doggy games, Austin and Indy in particular, there was one point where we were doing, I think it was the relay race, or it was one where like the dogs were going kind of head to head with each other. And I just, I was trying to just randomly pair dogs off. And there was one dog, and I can't remember who it was, but Indy was getting paired with a dog who was just a little bit too much for Indy. It was just a little bit too hyper, a little bit too, just the energy was too high for Indy. And Indy would have been like, no, I don't think I want to. And Austin, without hesitation, just spoke right up and said, like, you know what, can we actually pair with maybe a dog like Rocky, who was a lot calmer. And I think it takes a lot of courage to be able to do that in a situation like this, because you feel like, you feel, I don't know if it's judgment, or it takes a lot to do something like that. I know for me in particular, I would have a hard time just speaking up in a situation like that. So the fact that she kind of could put all of that aside and know what was best for Indy and be willing to speak up and say, like, you know what, this dog is going to be too much, but this one would be better. Can we do that? Because I don't see that working with my clients. I don't see that a lot. I get a lot of people who, somebody will say, can I pet your dog? And that client feels funny saying, no, you can't pet my dog, he's in training. And so I usually have to coach people through that and like different things that they can say or do within their comfort zone. Some people will say like, no, my dog's in training. Other people will say, something like, my dog's sick, like, because they have to, or somebody comes yelling with their loose dog, my dog's friendly, stuff like that. And it's just learning how to speak up and advocate for your dog is really important. So that was something that really stuck out to me. And I was really glad that she was willing to speak up and advocate for her dog in particular. So,
yeah, I think that's well said. Advocating for your dog is so key, regardless of what people think of your actions. It's, well said, Laura. Thank you for that. Last, we want to give Out of Your Comfort Zone award to Brutus and Michelle. We mentioned this before, that it was a whole new experience for both of them. And, they both had a wonderful time, and they both learned a lot about the relationship. Delise, anything specific that you noticed at the treat toss challenge that you want to comment on with Brutus?
Oh my gosh, he's so tuned in to Michelle. It's just remarkable, actually. We were a little worried about him being willing to catch treats from Greg because he's so focused on her, and she really knows how to capture his attention. But it was a non-issue. It was not a problem at all. So, and I think she also was like, I don't know how this is going to work with Greg throwing the treats, a guy he's never met.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, Michelle, just kudos to you again. We were just so impressed with you, like we said, getting out of your comfort zone, getting in there and just doing it. So yeah, it was really great to see.
Awesome. All right, so our last set of recognition awards, we've got the Savor Award, which absolutely goes to Cody. As I mentioned, his big brother, or his, I don't know if it would be uncle or cousin. They're in the same family, but not by the same, not both Jamie's dogs. It's her mother's dog. But Cody was there with Charlie at the Pink House this past weekend, and he was loving his cup. He was savoring it. He was hunkered down on the ground, just relaxed, just having a great time. I don't remember how long it took him. I mean, I think most people had left by the time he was done, but it didn't matter to him. He was having a fantastic time. So he gets the Savor Award. And then I love this. There was a comment that Karen Laverto made. She's the owner of Lucy there that you see doing the Canine Fitness Challenge. Basically, when she turned in her event ticket, she said, if my dog is happy, then I am happy. She didn't go into it for the competition. She didn't go into it for any special awards or recognition. She was just like, I am having a fantastic time with my dog. And that's what it was all about. Just a new bonding experience, learning new things. And so my dog is happy, I'm happy award goes to Karen and Lucy. And then finally, the Shock the Judge Award goes to Rocky and Aaron and Terry, because Rocky is a true underdog story. And April, why did you give them this award? Tell us about this story.
So this team was like the true warm my heart of all of the events that I had with all the people that went through. Not that every one of them I didn't love, but this dog, like for me as the canine fitness trainer and doing this event, it was a lesson for me to, the typical don't judge a book by its cover. Because I have to, the space that I use is upstairs. So I had to go downstairs to meet everybody as they were coming in to let them into the facility. And it's a big wall of glass windows. And I was watching him come across the parking lot, and I was like, immediately, I'm like, oh God, this is going to be so, like, how am I going to get this dog to move? I want these owners to see this dog engage with the equipment. And like, I just want them to have a really great time. And I was like, this dog was like, I mean, he's walking in and I was like, there is like no energy. I was like, oh my God, I feel like I might have to check for a pulse. Like, and I was just like, so I'm like, okay, we're going to figure it out. And they came in and Terry was so happy. And she was just like, great personality, great energy. He walked in and was like, he acknowledged me. But not like a lot of the dogs that were just like, okay, I'm here. I'm ready to go. Let's go. Let's show me what I'm going to do. And he was just kind of like, all right, where are we going? Like walking up the stairs, So I'm trying to get a little bit of the background. So many things impressed me with this. The first of which was, and I can't remember. Now, Tracy, if you remember specifically, Rocky has not been with them for very long. Like he has just come into their lives, right. And not really necessarily knowing what his background was. I mean, and this is by no judgment at all. He clearly didn't have a lot of opportunity for physical movement and expression and whatnot because, he just didn't have a lot. His physique was a little like not so muscular and he wasn't really fast with everything. So we got talking about that, and I said, well, do you know if he's ever done anything? And they said, not that we know of, and certainly not with us other than walking around the farm. So it was Erin was the one it was his partner, and they were walking through the stuff, and I was telling her what she needed to do. And, it was a little bit of a slow start for him, but the minute he figured out that he knew what she wanted him to do, and that every single time in the beginning, all he had to do was put his front paws up. So every single time he put his front paws up, and you can see in the picture that you put up there, he'd get like back scratches and praise and all sorts of love. And you literally could see his soul just start to come out of his body and like project out into the entire room. And I was like, there's a couple of times I was like, oh my God, I'm going to cry in front of these people. And then after that, he just nailed everything. Like, I didn't think he was going to do a lot of stuff. He did the high jump, guys. Tracy, I know I sent you the video. He did the high jump. I was so impressed because he's got these little legs, but he did the high jump. His spirit came out. It was like, all of a sudden he was like, I'm a dog. Like, I know how to be a dog. And he was doing everything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is it. This is why I do what I do. This is what the Olympics are all about. Yeah, he shocked me. He never should have, because as a judge and with what I do, I should never make assumptions about these dogs. But this one, he shocked me, and I will remember his experience for a very, very long time.
Oh, that's awesome. That's the story that you'll tell, in the future to your other canine fitness people who participate in the event. That's awesome. Great story. I love it.
And what I love even more is that she has taken that, like she said in the comments, they've taken him back to the farm, and he is on logs, he is on stumps, he's like doing everything out in their farm and in the woods, bringing it back from what they learned there, and just they're letting him do what he wants and choose the things that he does, and that's what this is all about.
Awesome. Very well said. Thank you for that. So that is our special recognition awards. Congratulations to everyone who won an event, everybody who was recognized. You guys have made this first annual Doggy Olympics just an amazing experience for all of us. So without further ado, I know we're a little bit over the hour here, but I know nobody's leaving because you want to know who won bronze, silver, and gold. So why don't we do the big reveal here? So the medal winners are, and we're going to start with the bronze winners. We had, in third place was Alina and Liam. Congratulations to them. So Liam took the howling contest. He was a winner in the howling contest and in the longest sit-stay contest. So congratulations to that team there for taking third place. We also are awarding third place to Jerry and Ranger, who also took the howling contest. There was double winners on that contest, and they also won the longest tail contest. So congratulations to them as well. They are also bronze medal winner. Our silver place winner goes to Jamie and Charlie. So Charlie was the winner of the dock diving competition and the ice cream eating competition. A great team effort here. Great job, you guys. You are taking home the silver medal second place winner. And finally, our number one gold medal winner goes to, I think everybody kind of knows. Do you guys have any ideas? Who do you guys think is going to be the winner? Any thoughts? Do you want to chime in, or you want to hold it to yourself? Any guesses from our audience before we reveal? I just like to draw it out. I know you guys got other things to do, but I try to draw it out. All right, let's see. We have a guess for Galaxy. We have a guess for Indy. Another guess for Indy. Another guess for Galaxy. All right, so everybody's thinking Austin Tucker is taking home the gold here because Austin owns Galaxy and Indy. Okay, another guess for Galaxy. All right, let's do the big reveal, everybody. First place gold medal goes to Austin and Galaxy. Sure enough. Congratulations, guys. It was a fantastic effort. Indy took the doggy games and the sensory explorers activity. What was interesting about the doggy games for Indy is Indy did the event twice. So I think in between there may have been some practicing as well. I know that Austin posted a video of some of the doggy games that Laura had done. and they were practicing at home. And then Indy came back and interestingly got the exact same score, but was a double winner on both nights. So swept that category overall, but then, as I mentioned, also took the sensory explorers. So congratulations to our gold medal winner and our silver and our bronze. I will be connecting with all of you because I want to have these trophies and medals, as you see here, customized to you. So I will be in contact. These will be ordered and then they will be delivered to you. So I'll follow up with you with all the details on that. So a thank you to Sandra McCarthy Photography for the wonderful pictures she took during dock diving. And again, these are for purchase if you see your dog, if you were there the night that she was taking pictures of your dog, and the proceeds will go back to the Charitable Partners Program. Also a huge thank you to Sit, Stay, Smile Pet Photography, who also took wonderful photographs and is selling those as well with proceeds to go back to the Charitable Partners Program. So please, 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 patronize not only our photographers, but our wonderful dog trainers and our canine fitness experts and our animal communicators, our veterinarians, all the wonderful people who were involved with this process. Special event organizers thank you goes out to Kaylee Hynek, who is a member of our It Takes a Village pet care staff, my husband Ray, who was at almost every event with me and took pictures and video, and I was the other event organizer with that. And then finally, if this is something you are interested in, I'm not saying it's going to happen because all of us are a little bit exhausted, but the 2022 Olympics for the winter is happening in February for the US. We're just curious if this is something that you would be interested in doing, if the partners with the New Hampshire Dog Walking Club were to get together, a whole nother events lineup for you. Let us know in the comment section, please, whether you were watching live or you're watching the recap, because obviously the feedback you give us, not only now, but in the survey that we send out, will help us determine if this event will run in 2022. I've been thinking about different ideas, and we have a lot of host areas that are inside, so it is feasible that we could have a very fun Winter Olympics. And I'm seeing here, yes, we're interested. We had a blast. Yes, 100% for Winter Olympics. Yes, winter. Okay, guys, they're all saying yes. We got to put our thinking caps on at the next brainstorming meeting of the partners. So, well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for participating. Thank you to all winners. Thank you to my amazing partners. Thank you to Monica and Elise and Laura and April for being with me here tonight to kick off the closing ceremonies and kind of come to a conclusion here. Any final words that you guys want to say before we part?
Yes, I want to say, Tracy, you are an amazing organizer. The brain child, I mean, the brain power that's going on all the time with you, it's insane. So you are just amazing. And thank you so much for coming up with the idea and making it happen. And for the first time out, I would have to agree, huge success. So thanks.
Well, thank you, Delise, for the kind words. I appreciate it. Coming from my partner in the Dover Dog Halloween event, who also needs to get kudos for being a creative person. She doesn't give herself enough credit, so I appreciate that.
And I'll just echo what Delise just said. Thank you, Tracy, for organizing this and for your drive to promote the human canine bond. It really is quite amazing. You put your heart and soul into it, and in return we get this community where people are putting their hearts and souls into improving the welfare of the families, the dogs, and our whole community. So thank you.
Thanks, Monica. I appreciate that. And there was a question that came up too in regards to the photography. I will actually be posting, like I do in the group after events, little albums. I will be doing that. I just didn't want to do any prior to the closing ceremony because some of these pictures are really special and I wanted them to be seen for the first time tonight. But I will be posting those albums. The ones that were taken by the club are free to use. As you see, you can download them, you can repost them, you can do whatever you want. But also, as we mentioned, the professional photographs that were taken by Sit, Stay, Smile Pet Photography and Sandra McCarthy, those are for purchase. Please do not reuse those without permission. They have a talent that can't be replicated, and that is something that needs to be valued. So I appreciate everybody again tuning in. Thank you again for joining me tonight, Monica, Laura, Delise, and April. I hope you guys have a great night, and we'll get busy thinking about the February Winter Olympics and possibly bring you guys some ideas. All right, everyone, have a great night.
Have a good night.
Bye.